If Lindor does get the money, he'll be buying Trevor May dinners, I think, for the next 97 years. I think that's the way it works when you make $300 million. Trevor joins us on the Fan. Now, first time, Trevor. It's Craig and Evan, New York City. How you doing, pal?
Good. How are you guys?
Excellent.
Well, I mean, I'm not Francisco Lindor, but I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, no one's Francisco Lindor. I think
right.
he's got a little bit better than a lot of people, guys.
And by the way, even before a contract, he should be buying everybody meals. He is making over $20 million. Jacob deGrom, too. He should take care of everybody.
I mean, how do you know? How do you know they're not? Maybe it's a secret. Maybe we're just all have this conspiracy and they don't want anyone to tell us.
See, I was wondering, though.
Maybe I just blew it.
You guys, listen, you're all multimillionaires, but there is still a pecking order amongst multimillionaires. So if the pitchers go out for dinner, I do want to know, what's the reputation? Is Jacob cheap? Is he, hey,
no
guys,
way.
I got it. Here's the black card.
Yes.
Do you have to step up because you're one of the newest guys on the team? So, seniority rules the day. What is the deal amongst the guys as far as who's picking up a dinner check?
Well, I don't know yet. With COVID, we haven't been able to go anywhere. And so I maybe I can report in a little bit better later in the season as I get to go to some dinners with some of the guys. But usually the rule of thumb is everyone knows everyone's contracts. Whoever is at the dinner and whoever has the biggest contract usually takes care of it until you get to the 5+ people, and then you start splitting things amongst the top 2 contracts and things like that. So
it's the same way amongst us radio guys. When we eat dinner with guys that play baseball, we come empty-handed.
Yes. And when there's friends and family involved, we are the ones definitely taking care of the check. Did you guys saw the tweet yesterday that Steve replied to? Did you guys see that?
Steve,
I did not.
They said, please extend Trevor May and extend Lindor and Conforto while you're at it. And he said, well, if I extend everybody, it's going to get pretty extended. And it took every fiber of my being not to tweet back, well, we know who's going to be the cheapest.
I'm looking at it now, yeah. Boy, that did show a lot of restraint, Trevor. I give you credit.
Yeah.
Well, you just kind of said it.
I think it would have been fine.
There now. Hey, question for you. I'm a big fan of yours, have been from the gaming standpoint. Really, I knew you more as a gamer than I did baseball player, to be honest. And I have kids who, watch your channel and love it and all that stuff. When you saw, the Myers-Leonard situation, and you're playing and you're live and, you're into Minecraft and the other games that you play, I just always wondered, for a guy who's in the public's eye, are you cognizant and are you aware, hey, there is a live camera on me. I do have to be careful what I say because not just so much because there's kids, but I'm on a live camera. I can't be stupid here. Are you aware of that the whole time?
Yes. Very, very, very aware. And I've been doing this for quite a while now, and it's got to the point where I have to set my foot down sometimes with Chad. They go they want me to identify the worst umpires or really go into depth about a player that I either like or just, and I'm just guys, I'm live on camera. Do you really think I'm going to give you some crazy in-depth scalding answer here? No. I'm going to give you a very generic, he's good, and move on.
Right.
So we can skip the question, and you can just assume that's what I'm going to say because I'm not a baseball pundit. I'm a player. So, yeah, it's there. I mean, early, there was times where I was just I get really ragey or angry, and I'm all right, let's keep the F-bombs to a minimum here. But,
Yeah, I was watching the video where you would change the keys on the board and you fell to your death a couple times in Minecraft. And I'm saying to myself, is he biting his tongue? Is he dying and go off on the way I would if I died in a game? I get shot in Call of Duty, I'm pissed, and I'm not on camera though.
For sure. It's taking a lot of time and effort for sure.
There was a story, I think it was a few years ago, that David Price had carpal tunnel from playing too much. I think it may have been Call of Duty, it may have been a different game. I forget the exact game. Fortnite. So you're all over it. Is that ever a concern of I got to keep myself healthy? The video game playing could cause me to miss a couple of appearances.
Yes, that was a thing in the beginning too, because I was actually hurt when I started. So, and it was a back issue. So I was like, oh, I got to make sure like that I'm not sitting too much and I'm standing up and doing all the things I need to do. But now I have like a nice routine. I have like a little timer that tells me when to get up. I always have like the best ergonomic chairs, and I've really maximized. Like I play on a mouse and keyboard and not a controller, so my hand's not like in a claw motion very much either, which is nice. It's just kind of resting, like and like my desk height is perfect for my elbow to be at a 90-degree angle. So it's like the most comfortable. All my desks too are standing desks, so I can stand them up too and just stand and walk around if I want to. So like I've made a lot of efforts, and to be honest, it's gone a long way. I've gotten pretty good at sitting at a desk, and
I remember the first time
I know my body. So
yeah,
I walked into the NFL offices years ago. And it's the guy that works for like Fox now, Evan. He was the guy in charge of replay. I forget his name. I'm blocking his name right now. And he's standing there, and the desk is up like by his nipples, and he's typing away. And I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, oh, it's the newest thing. It's a standing desk. I'm like, that's like the most awkward thing I've ever
that's
seen.
Way
in an
too
office.
high, sir.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing, man? And he was up there like, dude. I go, I'll never have a standing desk ever. Let's do a little baseball with you, Trev. Obviously, at this point in spring training, most of you guys that we've talked to over the years, you're ready to go. It's enough. Let's go. Let's play some real games. Give Met fans an idea of where you are physically, how you feel. I know you were messing around a little bit the other day with the leg and, you're changing some stuff with the delivery. But overall, you're in a good place. You happy where you're at? How do you feel?
Yeah, I'm happy where I'm at. We've started to ramp up the kind of dialing scouting reports and stuff too, even in spring, even though like every time I'm pitching now with our starters going deep into games, most starters are out of the game and they're guys that I don't know very well. But we've gotten to kind of the body to where it's pretty close to ready for spring training with velocity and how the arm's feeling and bouncing back day to day. Like it's all about so I monitored a couple things. I'm just looking at how quickly I'm recovering, which the first couple times it took me a little longer than usual, and I had to work through a couple things and take an extra day once. But got through that fine. I've thrown 2 of the last 3 and feel good, and I'm throwing again tomorrow. So we're doing a 3 out of the 5 here, and passing that test, you're pretty much ready. So. All that feels good, physically feel good, ready to go. I think I locked in the routine pretty well. And then the mental side, just making sure you're prepared for hitters and starting to learn them before we get up there, especially like the Nationals who we're facing first. Just so, we get on basically everyone out, all of us guys on the pen, and we want to have a pretty cohesive attack plan here right off the gate. So we're doing our jobs as good as we can right away, and that's something that I try to dial in a lot in spring too, as much as I can anyway.
Right. So with Carlos Carrasco hurt, I know Luis Rojas has said this numerous times, and so it's more than just flirting with it. He's been open about we may use an opener. We may have an opening kind of role. When I watched you in Minnesota, and I wasn't watching every game, you were more 6th inning, 7th inning, 8th inning kind of guy. Could you see yourself being that opener? Because I don't know if there's anybody in the bullpen that kind of fits the category of pitching the first inning, and then here comes Joey Lucchesi. I assume he would come in next. Is that something you think you would fit if Luis Rojas decides to do that?
I'm an easy guy, man. If that's something I'm called upon and that's what I really want to do, I mean, I'm not going to fight it too hard. But in my experience, opening is just not my forte. I'm a big, like, give me a big spot, give me some adrenaline, get the crowd in it. Starting a game is just like, it's boring. There's no other way to say it. Boring as hell. I don't get, like, I want a spot. I want the opportunity to hold a game, keep it where it is, get out of the big spot, and have that stuff going. I very much feed off that.
Okay, now I'm not going to try to sell you because as a traditional baseball fan, I don't love the whole opener thing. But I just need to counter that. A game starts. You take the field with your team. It's the top of the first inning at Citi Field. That doesn't, or maybe it will in New York, that wouldn't give you some juice? Like starting
I mean,
game?
you could set the tone. It'd be a tone setting for sure. Another thing, a lot of guys go out and throw it, get with 3 outs and then be done for the day and just go sit in the clubhouse. That sounds awful.
Yeah, it does.
They're all like, I can't wait to go sit in the clubhouse by yourself. That doesn't sound fun at all. What are you talking about? I'd rather be hanging out with the Ben anyways. But all jokes aside, man, it comes down. I'm called to do it, and that's something they're comfortable putting me in that situation. They want me to do it. Like I'm going to do it be as good at that as I can be, especially if it's, like passing it off Joey or passing it off Jordan or or Pete or Petey or whoever it is. And that gets them an opportunity to go deeper into a game and save the bullpen later. I mean, that's kind of the goal, right? So if I'm able to do that well, we're all going to benefit, just maybe not as immediately as I'm used to.
Couple things. Have you given thought to what the entrance song is going to be, and have you decided, are you going to be a city dweller or are you living out in the suburbs? What's the plan for that?
I believe it's technically city dweller.
You better be careful now.
Yeah, I'm not going to try to say the exact neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fairly close to the field. So
got it. All right.
I know what you did, and you made a wise decision. I put it that way.
I'm not in Jersey, so there's that.
All right.
But yeah, I know the walkout for sure. I chose this one a long time ago, and I finally got non-closers to get walkout songs in Minnesota a couple of years ago. So I've had it for a couple of years. But I walk out to Welcome Home by Coheed and Cambria, and the drummer for Coheed is a huge Mets fan. So
nice.
He's got like a Mets tattoo on his neck.
Wow.
So
that's a Met fan right there. It's also a guy you don't mess with. Dudes who get neck tattoos can kick your ass usually.
Josh is the man, and that song just gets me just going. So
nice.
I'm excited.
Nice. Do you have any, like, Evan and I are born and raised New Yorkers, right? So New York's just our thing. It's where we're from. Like, we didn't come here from somewhere else. We grew up here. I started in the Bronx, moved out to Westchester County, and Evan has lived in a couple of different boroughs, and started in Long Island. When you guys hear and talk about New York, forget about the Mets and Yankees for now, but is there anything special, or is that just something that we've invented because we love our town so much? Like, do guys revere New York? When you used to come to New York, was it, I can't wait to go to New York for A, B, C, and D, or do we overemphasize that amongst guys outside of the city?
I mean, there could be a little bit of that at times. It depends on what you're talking about, honestly. But no, going to New York's definitely a thing, right? It's like, especially if you're in the division, like it's going to be, especially when we're in Minnesota, we come out to play the Yankees or play the Mets, and it was definitely like like the New York trip was a trip you planned for. Like the families wanted to go to New York. Like everyone, there's some of everything. And my sister's lived in Brooklyn for 20 years, so
nice.
So like I've actually spent a good amount of time in the city. I've been out many times in my life. And so, but there's no way to see everything. I mean, that just doesn't exist anywhere else in the United States. Like,
I actually think
Chicago's cool and LA's cool, but like New York's, it's everything.
I could have this dead wrong, and we're not going to say the name of the place. I think your sister was my kid's teacher a few years ago.
There's a good chance.
Okay, so we're on the same. We're on the same page.
Yes.
Got it. All right, good.
She is a teacher. So
all right. So my information's good. Then I got to find out what grade he got, but I'll find out that later on.
All right.
Now, Trevor, this isn't your fault, what I'm about to say, but Yankee fans think of the Twins and they get excited because all the Yankees have done is beat the Minnesota Twins long before you were in the major leagues, when you were in the major leagues. Did you, and I've always wondered this, because when the Yankees play the Twins in the playoffs, there's this emotion of, and I've even said it too, the Yankees are going to sweep them because look at the history of the last 20 years. And I always wondered, did Twin players think about that? Did they know that? So as a former Twin, when you played the Yankees and you played them in the playoffs back in 2019, was that a thought that you guys had of, oh my God, we're playing a team that we just never beat?
I mean, in that context, that's something that I don't allow in my head. I get the question like, what hitter are you most afraid of all the time? I don't let that in my head either. Like
right.
I'm not afraid of anybody. It's the same way. Like bring them on. If anything, I was fired up to play a playoff series in Yankee Stadium. Like that's like I grew up in the 90s, 2000s with the best Mariner teams there ever been, and I'm a Mariners fan as a kid. And I don't know if you knew this, but the Mariners have that same problem with the Yankees. So I'm very well acquainted with this whole thing. So I grew up like just they were the evil empire to me for sure.
Wait, do you remember 1995 at all, or were you too young for the 95 series?
My dad has made sure I remembered.
Okay, good, because I was going to say, there were Yankee fans listening saying, wait a second, we did beat the Mariners a lot. We love 2000. We love 2001, but 95 still stings to a bunch of Yankee fans, you know?
Yeah, but again, since 95, nothing good has happened to them.
You're right. Especially that 114 win team, yes.
The 116 win team
116
got beat in the championship series, and that was the year. That was
brutal.
That really sucked.
Well, look, we appreciate you coming on. We hope to talk to you throughout the season. Final question, just from a gaming standpoint. 1 hour, one game only. What's the only game you play if you could only pick one?
Ooh, 1 hour?
1 hour, one game.
I'm picking World of Warcraft. I'll take an hour. Wow.
Yeah, I took Minecraft out by saying an hour. I did that on purpose.
Minecraft, it's getting there. It's getting there quick. You can do a lot in an hour. So
yeah, I can't. For some reason, I start building. I'm digging. I'm done.
And you're bored.
I'm bored. I am a Fortnite COD guy. I'll play all night, every night. I look forward to playing with you at some point in the future. My kids are ranked in the games, globally. Ooh. But Minecraft, no, sir. Nothing.
Well, not for everybody.
Now, listen, we're going to throw you on hold. If it's cool, grab your info, and then I'd love to connect with you offline. Look forward to seeing you come up to New York, and we appreciate your time today, pal.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, guys.
All right, thanks, Tyrone Sec. That's Trevor May. Grab his info, please, Tommy. Sonny's going to have to play a little Fortnite with him, I think.
Well, he did seem intrigued when you said your kids are ranked.
Sonny's in the top 1% of all the players in the world.
Challenge accepted.
So, they'll be on the same squad. As a dad, I want to sit and watch Sonny and Trevor just kill everybody.
Nothing would make you more prouder than that.
I'd be such a proud dad. Hey, son, what did you do today? I killed everybody. Were you alone? No, me and Trevor May.